Is this Revlon hair dryer and styler worth the hype? Hey everyone, I'm Coral and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, click that subscribe button down below and hit the bell for new videos every week. Recently, my friend recommended that I give this Revlon dryer and styler that gives you a blowout feel at home a try. I figured it was definitely worth a shot, especially if it is something that styles and dries your hair at the same time and would be something that could possibly save me time whenever I'm getting ready. I've had it for about a month now, and today I'm going to share my review of this styling tool along with the pros and the cons, a demo, and if I think it's really worth all the hype. The first pro and one that they claim on the package is less time, less damage. So because this tool is drying and styling your hair at the same time, the idea is that there is less damage to your hair because there is less time that your hair is being exposed to the heat. So that in turn means less heat damage for your hair. And for someone like me who styles my hair and uses a lot of heat tools, that is something that is very appealing to me. After using this product, I definitely agree that there is less time your hair spends on heat. Because it is styling and drying my hair at the same time, I'm not having to double heat my hair by blow drying it first and then styling it. I am doing both at the same time, so that is definitely saving my hair a lot of heat. Along with this, the brush does have a ceramic coating that distributes the heat evenly across the brush, meaning that there aren't heat spots on the brush and therefore distributing the heat evenly across your hair. The next pro is that it leaves your hair super smooth. So the packaging says that it has ionic technology. Negative ions help maintain a neutral charge on the hair's surface, leaving the hair looking conditioned and smooth. I 100% agree with that. My hair is so smooth whenever I am using this styler. Now before, if I were to freshly wash my hair, blow dry it, and straighten it, my hair would be pretty soft. But that softness is nothing compared to the softness that I get when I freshly shampoo my hair and then use this dryer and styler. After I am completely done, my hair is so silky and smooth. It feels so nice and I can't stop running my fingers through it. The next pro is that this dryer and styler is easy to use. All that you have to do is section your hair out and start running the brush through it. It's as easy as slowly running a brush through your hair. I have honestly tried the blowout method before, where you use a brush and a blow dryer in order to give yourself a blowout, and that is something that I could absolutely never do. There was no way, as much as I tried, there was no way I could possibly do that on myself. And that is not the case with this styler. It is so easy to use because it does the heat part for you. All that you have to worry about is sectioning out your hair and then slowly brushing this tool through it in order to dry it and style it. I honestly feel like it is foolproof. My mom got one of these as well, and she has arthritis in her hands and struggles a lot with using her hands, and she also agrees that this tool is super easy and she uses it all the time without any trouble. The next pro is that it really does dry and style your hair quickly. This brush really does save time in styling your hair. I have used this multiple different ways, from soaking wet hair to completely dry hair, and it works well and quickly every time. Even with soaking wet hair, it usually takes me around 10 minutes to get my hair from wet to completely dry and styled. I will say that I have found that it is easiest to use if you let your hair air dry a little bit before you try to use the brush. It's just a little bit faster that way, and you don't have to brush it through your hair quite as many times. It's not that big of a deal if your hair is soaking wet whenever you use it. Most of the time that is how I use this tool, because I don't have the time to let my hair air dry before I'm able to style it. But if I do have the time, I prefer to let it dry a little bit. Now, I have fine and thin hair, but my mom has thick hair, and she told me it is just as quick and easy for her to style her hair with this tool as it is for me. The last pro is that it does add volume. I have definitely noticed an addition of volume to my hair when using this tool. Like I said, I have fine and thin hair, and I struggle all of the time to get any sort of volume to my hair. When you're using the styler, if you lift and kind of turn the brush as you are dragging it through your hair, that does give some height and volume as you are styling it. Now, don't be surprised if your hair kind of sticks out a little bit and looks a little bit crazy while you're styling it. It almost looks as if you've kind of teased it, but resist the urge to kind of pat and smooth it down. I promise that by the time you're done styling it, it will fall to an acceptable height, but also still have volume. I have also been able to add volume to second day hair with this styler as well. So while I am going through and sectioning out my hair and spraying the dry shampoo in it, after I spray the dry shampoo and give it a little zhuzh to work in the product, then I go through with the styler again to add a little bit of volume. And I have kind of wavy hair, and so that will also kind of pull out the waves and get it straight again for me. And that works really well to add volume and restyle my hair at the same time. When I'm using this tool on second day hair, sometimes I use it on low, other times I put it on high. I do get a lot more volume right at the roots if I use it on high as opposed to low. Now let's move on to the cons. The first con for me is that it does cause some frizzy baby hairs. Like I said, I have fine, thin hair, and so my hair is a lot more prone to damage and breakage from all of the different styling and things that I do to my hair. So I have found that when I am using this, I can definitely really notice the fine frizzy little hairs. It does kind of make them stand out a little bit more than, let's say, if I were to straighten them. Straightening them is going to kind of flatten them down a little bit more against my head. So right after I am done styling my hair with this tool, my hair does look a little bit frizzy. The best way that I've found to combat this is that I use an anti-frizz hair oil on my hair. So as soon as I'm done styling my hair with this tool, I spray just a little bit on my hands and then brush it through my hair, and that really helps to smooth down those fine frizzy baby hairs. The next con for this tool is that the on-off setting takes 2 hands. So the way that the on-off setting on this tool works is it is kind of like a ring at the bottom that you twist from off, cool, low, and then high, and then you have to twist it back in order to turn it off. I do really wish that these on-off settings were a button because you do need 2 hands in order to turn it on. Most of the time that's not that big of a deal, but as I get to the top section of my hair, I like to kind of section it out and then grab the tool and then use it to dry and style my hair. And if I've set it down, I've usually turned it off. For the most part, I try not to leave it on when I set it down on the counter. So then when I need to grab it again and to start using it again, and I have a section of my hair sectioned out, it makes it really hard to turn it on. I have kind of finagled a way to kind of hold it with my palm and push it with my thumb to turn it on, but it would be a lot easier to use if it was some kind of button or easier switch instead of a twist to turn on and off. The next con for me with this styler is that the cord is a little bit thin. I'm used to using my Chi and Paul Mitchell curler and straightener, and the cord on those is a lot thicker than it is on this one. Now that's not a super big deal, but I have noticed that the cord gets a little bit more tangled up on itself. because it is a little bit more thin. I have had to stop a couple of times whenever I was using it and then untangle the cord. That way I was able to hold it all the way up where I needed it to be. It's not a huge thing for me. It's just one of those small things that I wish that the cord was a little bit thicker and more high quality. The last con for me with this tool is that it is not dual voltage. If you aren't somebody who travels outside of the country very often, then this isn't going to be an issue for you. My husband and I do travel fairly often, and occasionally it is out of the country. So if you do travel out of the country, just be aware that this is not dual voltage, and you probably can't use this tool outside of the US. Now, most of these salon quality stylers and tools that you will get will probably be dual voltage. Here in the US, the voltage that we use is up to 120 volts. But if you travel to Europe, for example, the voltage that they use on their outlets is up to 220 volts. So being dual voltage means that you can use it with either of the voltage quantities that come out of the outlets. You can use it in the US with 120 volts, or with an adapter, you can use it in European or other non-US countries that have 220 volts. Since this tool is not dual voltage, that means that you cannot do that. You would probably fry it if you plugged it in with a voltage over 120. Like I said, not a big deal if you don't do a lot of traveling outside the US. It's just kind of a bummer for me, and something that I wish was an ability that this tool had, because since it is both a dryer and a styler, that really could be useful when you're traveling. Instead of having to bring multiple tools with you, you could just bring this one. So sadly, if you are going on an overseas trip, you probably can't plan on bringing this tool along with you. Overall, I honestly love this dryer and styler. Yes, there are a few cons, but all of them are pretty small in comparison to the pros that you get with this product. The biggest pro being that it takes less time to style your hair, and anything that takes less time is good in my book. So I definitely think that this dryer and styler is worth all the hype. If you want more reviews on other beauty products I use, click right here for my beauty review playlist. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.